Do you jump from philosophy to coding to history, never finishing one clean path? Most people call that boredom. Some even call it lack of discipline. But what if the real reason you get bored easily is because your mind outgrew linear thinking early? Because here's the uncomfortable truth. If you can stay locked into one narrow topic for years without mental friction, it usually means your brain feeds on repetition. If you can't, if your attention keeps pulling you sideways into new domains, it's often because your mind is built for mental cross-training, not mental confinement. This isn't distraction, it's pattern hunger. And once you see it, you realize your social withdrawal, your selective curiosity, your boredom with surface-level environments all come from the same place, a brain that needs range to stay alive. Let's break it down. 1. You abandon topics once you get the model. You lose interest the moment a subject stops teaching you something new. Most people read to finish. They chase completion, volume, credentials. Your brain reads for structure. Once you absorb the underlying model, your metacognition moves on. That's not impatience, it's cognitive efficiency. You extract frameworks, not facts. 2. You rotate interests instead of climbing ladders. Your curiosity moves laterally, not vertically. Average minds stack knowledge in one direction to feel progress. You build an internal library. Mental cross-training lets you transfer insights across domains. This is how complex thinkers integrate ideas, by letting patterns collide. 3. You feel mentally starved in repetitive environments. Routine drains you faster than effort. Most people find safety in repetition. Your low stimulation tolerance for sameness. Your cognitive filtering system is tuned for novelty, not comfort. Repetition feels like starvation because your brain requires variation to regulate itself. 4. You prefer learning alone. You withdraw socially when learning deeply. Most people process externally, talking it out, group studying, constant feedback. Your mind consolidates internally. Solitude isn't avoidance, it's self-integration. You need quiet to let disparate ideas fuse into something coherent. 5. You don't follow curricula, you follow curiosity. You resist prescribed paths, even when they're proven. Average minds trust external structure to tell them what matters. You have a strong authenticity orientation. Your brain rejects imposed relevance and seeks internally meaningful connections instead. 6. You get bored with people for the same reason you get bored with topics. Shallow conversation exhausts you. Most people use socializing for stimulation or validation. You have low social reward sensitivity. Your nervous system isn't activated by chatter, it's activated by depth. So withdrawal becomes a psychological necessity, not a flaw. 7. You learn in bursts, not schedules. Your productivity comes in intense waves. Average minds prefer steady, predictable pacing. Your cognitive rhythm is non-linear. When the pattern clicks, your brain enters high absorption mode. When it doesn't, forcing consistency only creates friction. 8. You collect perspectives, not identities. You sample belief systems without fully adopting them. Most people anchor to one worldview for stability. Your mind is oriented toward mental simulation. You test ideas without merging with them. This protects cognitive flexibility and prevents identity lock-in. 9. You feel restless when you're supposed to be satisfied. Even success doesn't hold your attention for long. Most people chase milestones to feel complete. You're driven by expansion, not arrival. Satisfaction for you comes from increasing internal complexity, not external achievement. 10. You disappear socially without feeling lonely. You isolate for long stretches and feel clearer afterward. Most people fear isolation because they regulate emotionally through others. You regulate internally. Withdrawal is how your system recalibrates after overstimulation. It's not avoidance, it's maintenance. 11.
You see connections others miss. You link ideas across unrelated fields. Average minds compartmentalize knowledge. Mental cross-training strengthens pattern recognition density. Your brain isn't storing facts, it's mapping relationships. That's why variety feeds you. 12. You've been told to just stick to one thing. Others interpret your range as lack of focus. Most people equate focus with narrowness. Your focus is distributed. You specialize in synthesis. Depth for you comes from integration, not confinement. So no, you don't get bored easily because you're unfocused. You get bored because your mind evolved past linear consumption. You don't learn to finish. You learn to build an internal architecture. And you don't withdraw socially because you're broken. You withdraw because your psychology requires silence, variety, and depth to stay regulated. You were never meant for one path. You were built to cross-train the mind. If this resonated, comment library or drop the number of the point that felt uncomfortably accurate. You're not scattered. You're multidimensional.